The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show, a hoop ball presentation. My name is Adrian Benjamins, and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani, and this episode is brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee Company. Get some delicious coffee and taste the Kona difference. Head over to hawaiianisles.com and Amazon. Neil, how are you doing?
Fantastic, Adrian. Nice workout. Feeling that post-workout endorphin rush, relax, ready to do a few box scores with you, hit the hay, start all over again tomorrow. I'm having a great night in fantasy, so that just elevates everything around me when fantasy is going well. You know?
Are you getting hit at all by these mega stars that are getting ruled out? Disappointed. I think Giannis missed a game here tonight. Are there any big name guys that are hitting you that they're not playing, or are you kind of avoiding that?
I feel bad saying this. I'm actually benefiting from it because the guys I'm going against has Lowry and LeBron.
Nice.
I feel very fortunate. If that wasn't the case, I don't think I'd survive this round. I think that's pretty safe to say. Yeah, so, it's like one of those things. I do have Anthony Davis in the Hoop Ball League, so he sat tonight. Still doing okay in that league. But still, I'm benefiting more from this randomness. I am starting to realize just how head-to-head is just – playoffs always are kind of random, what you play the entire season, you have 1 week, and you have a bad week and you can lose. But now with all this sitting, it's just the randomness has just increased by so much. I don't know if I'm going to do a head-to-head next year besides the Hoop Ball League. Anyway, any thoughts on head? Have you been doing head-to-head for a while, or you do mostly rotisserie?
Lots of head-to-head and lots of rotisserie. And Neil, I agree with you. With head-to-head, not always the best team wins, meaning you may be the best team all season long. You have a bad week, you're done. We're in a roto league, almost 100% of the time in a roto league, the best team wins. Because in a roto league, you could have a bad week. You could have a bad, 2 or 3 weeks, and you could still win the whole thing. I kind of still just take that into account, that randomness of the head-to-head, and it's still kind of fun. And then what also makes it fun, you could come in 4th place going into the playoffs and still feel like you got a good shot to win. So I kind of like that as well. Where in roto leagues, for example, in my home league, I'm stuck in 8th place. I cannot move. I can't really drop, or I can't really move forward. So it's tough to get the motivation to keep grinding all year when you kind of have no shot. Where I love that in a head-to-head league, you feel like you're never out of it. You just need to make the playoffs, and anything can happen. So it's kind of fun. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I started in rotisserie, and so that was kind of where I became comfortable in that format, and now I'm branching out to head-to-head just because more people play head-to-head. I'm trying to do more leagues and all that, and I don't know. I guess because I started with rotisserie, I'm just kind of probably more locked into that mode. But I do understand the fact that when you have a bad season, you have a couple key injuries, you just can't recover. If your first-round pick goes down, or your second-round pick, so it's tough. It's tough. I guess both other trade-offs. Anyway, speaking of randomness, any news and notes? I'm trying to transition over to the box score breakdown somehow. Anything else you want to talk about before we move over to the NBA news?
No big news or notes from me, and if you want to jump into the games, let's do it. I think it could be your turn to lead us, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Exactly. Is it my turn?
I think the one news is Niko Mirotic. He's out. I don't know if you saw this. Yeah, he's out 2 to 4 weeks, so he's out probably for the rest of the fantasy season. Tonight we can get into their line when we get there. But I last night we talked about Connaughton being the guy to pick up. I have not seen this. I just got back from working out, so I haven't seen his line yet. But he had a decent line, Connaughton. Snell, similar. And DJ Wilson here's some streaming options. 34 minutes though from Connaughton, so I'd like to see that. Anyway, any thoughts on the Nico injury or any other news that has popped up?
Just major disappointment, right? I mean, this is the team that just lost Brogdon.
Yeah.
Now you lost Nico, and Giannis hasn't played this week, which is a major killer for fantasy owners. And then who else, man? Did they lose somebody else? I'm trying to take a look. George Hill. I know he's not a major part of the rotation, but he played tonight. Pau Gasol didn't play tonight. So, Neil, this is one of the best teams in the NBA. We want them to be firing at full strength going into the playoffs. So, from a reality standpoint especially, this is a major bummer, man.
Yeah, that Brogdon injury is the one that kills me. He's one of those guys that does so much more that does not show up in the box score to help his team win. So, I thought Milwaukee would come out of the East. Now, we'll see. Toronto's kind of looked a little shaky, too. So, I don't know. Maybe Boston will come back and do it all. Who knows? Anyway, let's get into some box scores. It is my turn to lead off. I've got, bear with me here, Milwaukee, Cleveland the first game. Does that sound about right? Let's start there. Yeah, Milwaukee 102. Cleveland 107. The Bucks they aren't tanking. Cleveland should be tanking. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, Milwaukee down, like you said, Giannis, and now Mirotic, and of course Brogdon. Very shorthanded. Middleton steps up, has another big game, and off a back-to-back, we should mention. So a little tired as well. 26 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 3-pointers, a steal and a block for him. Ilyasova gets a start, plays 25 minutes. I am not a buyer in him, although he had 2 blocks and 7 rebounds. So those categories could be decent. Lopez, another nice night, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists on 7-11 from the field, 3 3-pointers, 1 steal, 2 blocks. He is just really helping my team right now. Bledsoe, likewise. Very fortunate these guys are playing 24 points, 8 and 8. Another nice game from him, 2 steals and 2 threes. Snell gets a start, 28 minutes, but not much. Connaughton plays a lot of minutes off the bench here, 34. DJ Wilson, someone we talked about earlier as a deeper league guy, 29 minutes. He's going to be a key part of this rotation, I think, down the stretch with Mirotic gone as well. That was at least the first news. He shot horribly tonight, 1 of 9. DJ Wilson, that is. Otherwise, he would have had a really nice night here. 3 steals, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. Would have scored in the teens if he would have shot like 40% tonight. So he might be the one to target. He's probably the most well-rounded in terms of fantasy value. I still think Connaughton is probably who I would take. Anyway, you have any thoughts on who you'd pick up or stream here?
I'm going to keep a close eye on the situation because I really don't know. And, we've seen in the past, Ilyasova actually have value when he starts and gets minutes. So it could possibly be Ilyasova. I like your take. I would probably, if you have to just grab someone, Connaughton's probably at the top of the list. But as you mentioned, DJ Wilson could be the guy as well. So I'm going to keep a close eye on the situation, Neil. See who gets the bulk of the minutes, who gets the usage, who's the one taking the shots. Because, Snell got 11 tonight, Ilyasova got 9, Connaughton got 7, Wilson got 9. So it's all pretty close there. I'm curious to see if someone can separate.
Yeah, I think
themselves.
For points, Connaughton won't be their guy. I just think he's going to be like a safe low-end guy. If you want upside, yeah, I think Wilson's probably your guy, and then Ilyasova. He's kind of like he's like the portal. I think he's either going to be really good or really bad. I have no idea which way he's going to go.
Yeah.
All right. Other than that, Bledsoe looks good. Lopez looks good. Middleton finally having a Middleton. I still like this guy. I know he's been disappointing this year. He's gotten better over the last month. I still think he's a great basketball player. Maybe he's just a little nicked up this season. Anyway, you want to head over to Cleveland?
Yeah. Definitely. Let's see what happened over on the Cavs side. Yeah, my computer is picking a nice time to freeze up on me. All right, here we go. Colin Sexton, man. This guy's been playing pretty well lately. 25 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. He had 4 threes, 10 of 18 shooting from the field. Pretty disappointed with Cedi Osman here tonight. Cleveland with they're missing. Who are they missing? Actually, they're not really missing anyone, but Nance just got back. Tristan Thompson played limited minutes. Kevin Love left this game early. I thought Cedi Osman was kind of primed to have a good game. Didn't happen here. 8 points, an assist, 3 rebounds. He only shot 3 of 10 from the field. Brandon Knight has been serviceable for some time, I feel like. 13 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 threes. He shot 5 of 12 from the field, 1 of 1 from the line. Zizic just like low-end center value, and he had 8 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. That's serviceable as well. He was 3 of 6. Just the usage is pretty low for him. So most nights he's going to just give you a really low-end line. Kevin Love left this game early. Hang on, I'm pulling this up. Excuse me. Left this game early, so I don't know how serious it is. We'll check it out. But he only played 18 minutes, only shot 1 of 10 from the field for 6 points and 10 rebounds. So disappointing game for Kevin Love here. Clarkson doing his thing, which is scoring lots of points off of the bench. And 23 points for him, 2 steals, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 3 on 9 of 17 shooting. He was a perfect 4 of 4 from the line. He feels pretty safe if you've been rolling with Clarkson. Larry Nance, man, we've given up on him. And 7 points for him. Man, I apologize. My computer is really lagging right now. 2 steals, 2 blocks, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. It's actually a decent, well-rounded line here. 1 3 on 3 of 5 shooting. Not much else to talk about. Don't trust Tristan Thompson. Fingers crossed that Kevin Love doesn't have any serious injury or that he won't miss extended time. What do you think of the Cavs, Neil?
Yeah, I don't think Love's gonna play much more the rest of the season. They have no reason to win. He was what was in his plus minus? It was a plus minus 0, so he really didn't help them win. But I don't know why he's out there other than just to like kind of get some basketball time in, like kind of shake the rust off. Other than that, there's no reason for him to be out there. Like you said, Colin Sexton, we both like him. Nice game here. Osman, I think next year someone I'm going to target. I think he's going to get better as a player. He's going to have ups and downs, even as we've seen tonight and probably next season as well. But he's on the way up. I'm avoiding. Thompson, I think, will start to get more minutes. Larry Nance Jr., he's like my Dwight Powell of the last few years. I always expected him to pop. And finally this season, Dwight Powell popped at the end. I think Larry Nance is too frustrating to even think about and trust. Clarkson, like you said, is safe. And Knight, I did pick up and stream, and I think he should be if he is someone whose stats that you need. And the games, I think, this week are pretty bountiful. So picked him up, and we'll see how that works out. Any other thoughts on Cleveland before I head over to the Pelicans Magic? All right, Pelicans 96, Orlando 119. Anthony Davis having a rest day, so that means I believe Okafor played. Well, I guess Randall is technically the center, and didn't work out for him tonight. 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 of 9 shooting. No defensive stats. Okafor gets a start. At one point with 29 minutes, I would have started Okafor in a heartbeat, but I've kind of moved on from him, and his stats just haven't been the same ever since he kind of lost that minutes, and now he's kind of climbing back in. But tonight in 29 minutes, 9 points, 8 rebounds, not much to talk about. A steal, 2 blocks, though, so not bad. Kenrich Williams in 25 minutes, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 steals. Someone who's okay to stream, but we both, I think Frank Jackson's the guy to get here if he's still available. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. 2 3-pointers. Did struggle from the field, 6 of 17, but he is getting all the usage, and he is a decent playmaker as well. Who else sat tonight? Did Peyton play? Yes, he did. 24 minutes. Very quiet line for him as well. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Not much else to speak about. Stanley Johnson plays 18 minutes. Gets 18 points off the bench. Ian Clark, 17 points. Kind of a blowout game, so a lot of these second unit guys got a lot of minutes. Not much to take away from that. I guess the one thing is if Davis is shut down, would you pick up Okafor? I don't know if I still would. I think it's just going to be spread around a little bit. I don't trust Okafor. Do you feel differently?
No, I agree with you. And earlier in the season, you and I both we were streaming Okafor at one point when Anthony Davis went down. But I think now it just feels a little different with Julius Randle rolling. And with also, we've seen Diallo have some nice games as well. And so I feel like even if Anthony Davis got shut down, I feel like it's really not a guarantee that, or what we saw from Okafor here tonight, 9 points with 8 boards. This is kind of what you can expect. So I'm not really excited. In deeper leagues, sure, you want to take a flyer to see what happens. So, yeah. One other thing to note, Elfrid Payton snapped his triple-double tonight. Yeah, I think
I was expecting like a Paul George type injury.
Oh, like an injury? I should probably choose my words a little more wisely here. He was on a ridiculous triple-double streak. I think tonight would have made 7 straight games. So, didn't get there tonight. So, he's been playing really well. So, and then one last thing, curious if we're going to get any word on Drew Holiday. I know when he was ruled out last week, his timetable was like 7 to 10 days. He would be reevaluated. I think we're kind of coming up on that timetable. So I'm expecting us to hear word that like, hey, he's going to be back soon, or hey, we're shutting him down. So keep an ear out for that news. All right, Neil, any closing thoughts on the Pelicans?
If you're holding on to Holiday, I mean, first of all, I wish you well, but you got to expect the worst here. I mean, can't count on him. He might come back, but I would really doubt it.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty bad sign that we haven't really heard anything. I mean, I would expect, if you're fighting for your playoff life this week, I mean, we probably won't see him this week. And then also, too, really no incentive for the Pelicans to rush him back. I think they've already missed the playoffs, and why not just tank, right? So, all right, I'm going to jump over on the Magic side. I'm going to start with Aaron Gordon, man. This guy's been balling lately. 20 points, a block, 2 steals, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 threes, 7 of 15 shooting from the field, a perfect 2 of 2 from the line. Another guy who kind of came up big tonight. This is huge help for me in the Hoopball Staff League. Evan Fournier, 22 points, a steal, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 threes, shot an efficient 9 of 13 from the field, 101 from the line. He's been real. He's gone through some cold streaks, so really happy to see him play well in this one. Speaking of playing well, Nikola Vucevic double-doubled, a big double-double, 15 points, 17 boards with 3 blocks, 3 assists, 1 3, shot 5 of 14 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line. Jonathan Isaac, the scoring's been down, only 8 points here tonight, but I love the 4 blocks, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, so I'm happy that he contributed in some of these other stats. 4 of 11 shooting from the field for him. DJ Augustine with a pretty good game. 13 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. He had a steal, 1 3, shot 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Off the bench, maybe you're streaming Terrence Ross. Had the shot going tonight. 7 of 13 from the field for 19 points. Had 3 rebounds on 5 and was 5 of 10 from downtown. So that's some nice shooting from 3-point range. Not much else to talk about on this team. What do you think of the Magic,
Ross,
Neil?
I've seen him before. He's basically he's just a 3 guy. He's not really a 3-and-D guy. I don't expect many steals from him, but he can get streaky and knock down a handful of threes. every other game or every third game. So good to see that happen tonight. I'm glad Evan Fournier came through for you tonight. I kind of like his game, fantasy wise, and I know it's been up and down all season. TJ Augustine, I wish I could time this guy because when he plays well, it's a pretty decent line. That's really it. Nothing really changes here. Like you said, Isaac, the 4 blocks is worth. I mean, you get 4 blocks from a guy, I'm happy. It doesn't really matter how poorly everything else is. That's a great line. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the third game of the night. The Sixers finally beat the Boston Celtics. They get a win here, 118-115. Embiid was back. Boston, let's see, who were they missing tonight? No real key pieces. We know Hayward's out, but no one else was out tonight. So Kyrie played, had a monster night, 36 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 3-pointers, a block, 12 of 29 from the field, 9 of 11 from the free throw line. Marcus Smart got ejected, 19 minutes, just 3 points, not much to speak of overall here. Really weak fantasy night from him. Horford continues to play strong here down the stretch. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 3-pointers, a steal, 2 of 2 from the line. Marcus Morris, kind of a quiet night for him, just 4 points. Did have 9 rebounds, a few assists, and a block, but not much to speak of. Tatum, he should be doing more here, I think. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 of 12 from the field and a block. But when he plays 33 minutes and this team scores 115 points, I expect more stats out of Tatum. I know they're a team that shares the ball very well, but he is just, I think, too talented to get this little usage. Brown, 6 points off the bench, not much to speak of. Terry Rozier, he had a great night, 24 minutes, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 3-pointers. Let's see. I don't know what else to take away except Boston is too hard for me to predict on a night-to-night basis. Obviously, Irving and Horford have been locked in for a while now. You're going to start Tatum. I think you start Marcus Morris, and that's kind of it. And then maybe you roll the dice on some nights on Rozier and Smart when Irving's sitting. That's kind of the way I look at it. Any thoughts on the Celtics?
No thoughts from me, man. I don't like talking about the Celtics. If you go back a month ago and you listen to one of our shows, my take on the Celtics a month ago is probably like exactly the same as it is today. Just no changes to this team. I am super happy that Al Horford is playing well. Gordon Hayward overall has been disappointed. I mean, likely he's been dropped in head-to-head leagues, standard head-to-head leagues, and then, as you said, I'd love to see more from Tatum, but, we just know this team is so overcrowded. So it's just the same story from the Boston Celtics every single night. All right, I'm going to jump over on the Philly side, and very happy to see Joel Embiid back. And I think I said on the last show that one bummer when you miss a game from him because he could put up gaudy numbers, and this is what I was talking about, man. 37 points, 22 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. I mean, he just gave you 2 games in 1 game. So give him a pass if you were upset of him missing that last one, man. 1 3, 8 of 17 from 20 of 21 from the free throw line. Are you freaking kidding me? What a monster. Ben Simmons doing his thing, 13 points. These defensive stats from Ben Simmons, outstanding. 3 steals, 2 blocks, 7 assists with 8 rebounds. We know threes isn't his thing, but man, what a nice all-around line. 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. Jimmy Butler stepping up as well. 22 points, 2 assists with 4 rebounds. He had 3 threes, 7 of 17 from the field, 5 of 5 from the line. I got to catch some of this game, and I'm starting to see some camaraderie develop between Embiid and Butler, which is nice to see, because we know that that's been a major issue with Jimmy the last 2 places he's been. So really good sign for you, Sixers fan, that Jimmy's kind of getting on board with this team here. Tobias Harris, man, this guy, Neil, I thought we would see a major drop-off from Tobias when he joined the Sixers just because of these other studs on this team. And he's still just plugging along, putting up good numbers. And, I know Philly has had some injuries, and Embiid missed a little bit of time. But, man, with this team at full strength here tonight, Tobias still had an outstanding game. 21 points, 3 assists, 8 rebounds. He had 2 threes, 7 of 17 shooting from the field, 5 of 6 from the line. JJ Redick, nice game from him as well. 17 points, 3 assists, a rebound, 1 block. He had 4 threes, shot 4 of 14 from the field, a perfect 5 of 5 from the line. As usual, with all the starters going off, there's just not much usage or not much production for these guys off the bench. So not much else to talk about here. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Sixers?
I'm glad we got the win here. I want to see them have a nice I want to see the top 4 teams in the East really play well going into the playoffs, and I want Philly to be like you said, have that chemistry going in because the talent is there for sure. My first love is Anthony Davis, but I might have to drop him for Joel Embiid next season. This is just unbelievable. Mm-hmm. This reminds me of Anthony Davis right here. Fantastic line from him. He's been a beast all season. Just the rest and the worry about injuries were the only concern. But like you said, this is like 2 games of statistics. All right. Nothing else really changes for me on the side here on Philly. Let's go to the next game I've got is Utah against New York. Utah wins 137-116. The Jazz put up a ton of points, scoring all around. Blowout game. No one got into the 30-minute mark tonight. Start with Donovan Mitchell, 30 points tonight, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 12 of 20 shooting, 5 3-pointers, 1 steal. Adrian, I know you were counting on this every night when you drafted Donovan Mitchell. Certainly the potential is always there. Joe Ingles had a game, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 of 9 shooting, 6 3-pointers. All his attempts were 3s tonight. Derek Favors, the only quiet line here in the starters, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Did go 4-4 shooting, so helped you there. Gobert does close to double-double, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Perfect from the field, perfect from the line, 7 of 7, 4 of 4 respectively, and 1 steal. Rubio, 12 points, 3 rebounds, the 9 assists. That's the old school Rubio. Nice to see him kind of have a huge game there with 137 points. Guys are going to do that. 10 of 10 from the line for Rubio and 1 steal. Crowder, 15 points, 3 rebounds. Kind of a quiet game. I should take that back. He had 3 threes and 2 steals, so decent night. No one else produced. I think between Crowder, Korver, O'Neal, I guess Crowder's the one to stream, but it's still, even when he played 23 minutes, it really wasn't that great of a line. It was okay. Any thoughts on the Jazz?
Not really much for me to add. Just another one of these teams where it's just the usual suspects. Really happy that Ingles has been playing well. 18 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 6 threes tonight. This is, when we drafted Ingles, this is what we wanted from him. So happy that he's rolling right now at the right time. Not too much. I guess I'll add real quick on Donovan Mitchell. Neil, no one was higher on Donovan Mitchell than me. And I just feel like some of that luster and shine has come off of Mitchell a little bit for me. Not because of his numbers, but I was just hoping he was going to make this leap, this improvement, like kind of similar, like we're seeing this giant leap from De'Aaron Fox. I thought Mitchell could make like a leap into the elite tier, like into that first round, and it's clearly not happening. So I've kind of given up on that dream this season. Even when I get lines like this from Donovan Mitchell, I'm just kind of heartbroken that I didn't get that, that monster year that I thought he was going to have. So, that's all I got on the Jazz, man. I'm going to jump over on the Knicks. And, man, the Knicks is like a slot machine, right? Like, we never know what exactly is going to happen and who's going to go off. And Kevin Knox here tonight, 27 points. I think this one actually helped me again, Neil, because I believe I got Kevin Knox rolling in that hoop ball staff league.
Game.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it. 27. Sometimes it's just as good to be lucky as it is good. 27 points with 3 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 threes on 10 of 17 shooting. Future's right for this guy. He's young, inexperienced, going to have some up and downs, but in the long run, career-wise, I think he's going to be a pretty solid player. Dotson has been playing pretty well. He's rostered in like every single one of my leagues, even the standard 12-team league. So 21 points for him. 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 threes on 7 of 13 shooting from the field. He was 3 of 5 from the line. Moutier with 15 points, a steal, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. He was 7 of 17. Mario Hezonja, here we go, man. 23 points, an assist, 2 rebounds, 4 of 5 from downtown, an efficient 8 of 13 from the field, a perfect 3 of 3 from the line. I think one thing we need to also take into account in this game is the Knicks missing a lot of guys here tonight. Von Lay is out. Ntilikina is out. Dennis Smith Jr. is out. Alonzo Trier, who usually gets some decent minutes, he is out. So this may have definitely helped the guys like Hezonja. DeAndre Jordan with 6 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, a block. Only 18 minutes for him. Mitchell Robinson, 14 points with 12 rebounds, 3 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist, 6 of 10 shooting from the field, 2 of 5 from the line. Pretty good game. Neil, I'm going to go off course just a tad bit here. Really interesting thing, I looked at the Tankathon website today, and the Knicks are currently slated in the number 1 spot. Right now, they would get Zion. And, I was texting with a buddy of mine, and I said, could you imagine if the Knicks land Zion and they also land 2 free agents, like, let's say, for example, a Kevin Durant or a Kyrie Irving with a Zion Williamson? And, oh, man, I mean, they would go from 0 to hero in one summer. It would be crazy. What do you think of the Knicks, Neil?
Yeah, as far as fantasy goes, it's really, like we said, they've been the hardest team to trust. So many just, like, players that are either developing or kind of have disappointed, like Hezonja, and I wouldn't say Vonleh is disappointing, but he hasn't really lived up to his potential yet, and so you're not really sure if you can trust him. Like you said, he was out tonight. Robinson, he's the one who I'm excited to see. Even Robinson with Kyrie and Kevin Durant would be pretty amazing, if Zion doesn't end up there. But yeah, trust him. I'm glad you got Kevin Knox. I think we mentioned he's the one guy who I would have rolled the dice on if I had to take anyone. Hezonja just had a great scoring night, otherwise, but it's not that great. So it's just Knox for me if I had to pick someone who's not already owned. DeAndre Jordan getting 18 minutes. That's just really bad. I know he had 3 fouls, but I just know if he's just totally disinterested out there or what's going on. But he just has not looked the same DeAndre that we kind of saw in LA and then Dallas. But I guess you just roll with him if you have him. Next game I've got here is Chicago against Washington. Goes to overtime here. The Bulls win 126-120. On the Washington side, it's all Bradley Beal all the time. But tonight, Jabari Parker helped out. Beal played 44 minutes of the total, I guess, 53. 27 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Shot 7 of 19 from the field, 11 of 15 from the line. So not great, not terrible. 2 3-pointers, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. So he does it all. Satoransky, he's been so strong since getting this point guard role. 39 minutes tonight, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 2 threes. Portis in 38 minutes does decently, 15, 5, and 3 with 6 of 17 shooting and 2 blocks. Jeff Green, I dropped him. Tonight it was not in the cards. 23 minutes, just 10 points, 5 rebounds, a steal, a block, an assist. Trevor Ariza, very quiet night, 14 minutes. Maybe he got injured. I'm sorry, I have to check. Oh, okay, he got injured. That's unfortunate. We trusted him. Jabari Parker is the one you want now, I guess, if he's still out there. 38 minutes tonight, went crazy. 28.6 rebounds, 3 assists. He's done this before in a backup role, and now he'll probably get 30 plus minutes every night if Ariz is out for a while. Take a breath. That's really it. Thomas Bryant's fallen off the radar. Pick up Parker if somehow he's available. That's really, I think, the only guy out there. Any thoughts on the Wizards?
Love your take on Parker. I'm pretty sure the Wizards are out of the playoff race. So, growing injury, it looks like, for Trevor Ariza. I mean, why rush this guy back? Make sure Jabari Parker's owned. Could also, I know you're a little down on Jeff Green. I completely understand. But if Ariza misses time, could possibly benefit Jeff Green. But definitely, I would put Parker ahead of Jeff Green as far as like pickups go. Keep an eye on that situation, and that's pretty much all I got on the Wizards. I'm going to jump over to the Chicago Bulls. Neil, this team just keeps winning games, man. Like I'm trying to think. When I looked at that Tankathon website earlier today, I believe the Bulls were like fourth, or they were either third or fourth, I think, on that list. So still a lot of good players to grab in that spot. So the Bulls hopefully can get a nice player in this draft coming up. Chris Dunn, he is finally coming around, Neil. We saw glimpses of this in the previous week. Here we go, man. Definitely benefiting from, Zach LaVine is out. Otto Porter missed this one. So, Dunn got some extra. Speaking of extra shots, he took 24 shots. So big time usage here. 10 of 24 for 26 points, 2 steals, 13 assists, 6 rebounds. He had 3 threes, 3 of 5 from the line. Fingers crossed that he could have a strong rest of season or final stretch to the season. Harrison is getting the start. I might look to pick this guy up, Neil. I like the minutes with all of the injuries. I like the usage, and he had 18 points, 4 steals, 6 rebounds. He had a 3 on 3 of 3 shooting from the line. I'm going to keep an eye on him. Lauri Markkanen, this is what I'm talking about, man. 32 points, 13 boards, 5 assists, 1 block. 5 of 8 from 3-point range, 12 of 21 from the field, a perfect 3 of 3 from the line. Yes. Robin Lopez with 8 points and assists, 2 rebounds. He only shot 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Blakeney got the start, but he didn't really do anything. Only 2 points, 4 rebounds in 23 minutes. Some nice production from the bench. Felicio got 15. TLC got 13. Don't really trust, though, any of these guys on the bench. Neil, what are your thoughts on your Bulls?
Yeah, I don't know why they keep winning, but obviously this coach wants to keep winning, and the players obviously want to win, and they're playing hard out there. Dunn trying to prove himself as the point guard of the future for this team, so had a great game. Markkanen, he's phenomenal. Did not like the draft pick. I guess it was just like a year ago, right? 2 years ago, and he's totally proved me wrong. I was like, remember those guys when Porzingis got drafted in New York, and they were all booing? Like all those fans were like, "Who is this guy?" And then he turned out to be who he is, and Markkanen's kind of turned out that way here in Chicago. Let's see. Yeah, Shaquille Harrison. I've seen him play a few times. I think he has potential in this league. So. If he gets the starting role, I think he could be streamed. He's probably the only one available. Well, there's probably a lot of guys available, but the only one worth picking up at this point. If LaVine's going to sit for extended time, excuse me, not LaVine. He's probably taking over for Porter. But if one of those two guys is sitting, I think Harrison can be streamed. But don't expect a ton. Just expect low end stats, but. He'll be okay. That's not very quantifiable. Anyway, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna move on to the next game. Rockets, Grizzlies, Memphis, 126. Rockets 125 overtime game. Another one overtime here. Houston, apparently James Harden is refusing to sit. I don't know if you heard this, Adrian.
Wow.
D'Antoni wants to sit him, but Harden does not want to sit. So he's not going to rest, and he'll just hopefully not get too tired by the end of the playoffs. Anyway, 46 minutes tonight, an OT loss, 57 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 9 of 17 from three-point land, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He's your fantasy MVP, is he not? He is, isn't he? In your 9-cat league? Isn't it Harden? It's got to be, right? I'm sorry. Even a cat, it's like he's run away. I think a 9-cat is doing it too. Paul, solid game here, 18.7 rebounds, 7 assists. He knocked in 2 3-pointers and a steal. Capella, double-doubles, 14 and 10 with 3 assists, a steal, no blocks tonight. PJ Tucker, my phone picked a good time to. All right, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 3 of 5 shooting, 3 of 4 from three-point land, 2 steals and a block. Very not terrible, but it's too low end for me all season. Amon Shumpert gets a start here, plays 23 minutes for the injured Eric Gordon. And then Fareed did not play tonight, off the bench. Green plays 13 minutes. Austin Rivers plays 18 minutes. They don't do a whole lot. Daniel House played 39 minutes. He had this regression coming, but he did get 3 3-pointers. It's something. 9 points, 3 rebounds. We knew that those like really solid lines were going to come down a little bit. Tonight it was tough. Anyway, would you still stream House, or do you think he's worth dropping now after you think his run's over? Because I think he still might be decent.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would still stream House. 39 minutes here tonight. Did this game went into overtime? 39 minutes here. So, even though he's coming off the bench, I think him and Shumpert are like the guys, but he's outplaying Shumpert, getting more minutes than him. I think House is definitely worth a stream. Kind of disappointed that he played almost 40 minutes and only had 9 points, but was really good in the last one. I think he's worth a stream. Very surprising that James Harden is playing if his coach wants him to sit. We've seen him run out of gas in previous seasons in the postseason. So I hope as we get down towards the end of the season that he listens to D'Antoni and maybe gets some rest, especially once they lock up their seed. I really hope that Harden takes a break because I'd love to see him play well in the postseason. So not much else for me to add. Another team, we know who the guys are. Not a lot of surprises, although I guess House is kind of one. Oh, all right. Memphis. Let's jump over to Memphis. Another team that needs to lose. These teams. You know what? We all expect him to tank, but as you said about the Bulls, Neil, the players don't want to tank. The coach doesn't want to tank. It's more like the organization probably wants them to tank, but you can't stop the players once they're out there. And speaking of unstoppable, I'm talking about Jonas Valanciunas, 33 points with 15 rebounds. Yikes. No defensive stats, but I ain't mad at him, man. 10 of 19 from the field, 13 of 17 from the line. Jonas had a nice offensive game here. Another offensive game from Mike Conley, 35 points, 8 assists with 5 rebounds, 6 of 9 from three-point range, 12 of 23 from the field, 5 of 5 from the line. It's pretty good from him. Caboclo got the start. I don't know where this came from. 15 points, 3 assists with 7 rebounds. He had a 3, shot 6 of 10 from the field. I don't know about him. I'm going to keep an eye on him. DeLon Wright, though, I thought he could possibly have a big game here with him getting the start. Avery Bradley sounds like he's going to miss at least a week. Major buzzkill for me, Neil. I've got quite a few shares at Avery Bradley, so I'm definitely going to miss him. He's been great ever since joining the Grizzlies. So DeLon Wright, though, only 9 points, but he did have 2 steals, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 3 on 3 of 9 shooting from the field. He was 2 of 3 from the line. Not too much to talk about on the bench. I don't trust Chandler Parsons. I think it's a little encouraging that he's playing now, and he got 25 minutes in this one, but I don't trust him for fantasy or anyone else off the bench. I've moved on from Kyle Anderson, and I have no regrets at all. Nobody else really to trust on the bench. What do you think of the Grizzlies?
Yeah, really interesting. It's 8 deep tonight in an overtime game. Caboclo, I think he's interesting, right? Or no?
Yeah. No, it's so funny because it's like you want to be interested, but then you're like, I don't know, man, because I look, if you're feeling risky, if you want to gamble and you've got dead weight, okay, maybe make a pickup, but just know likely this was just kind of a fluke game. That's why for me, Neil, I'm gonna just add him to my watch list, and if he does this again, then it might be time to make a move.
Speaking though
on
of
him.
like guys getting shut down, I'm surprised Conley's still playing this many minutes. I mean, I'm grateful. I have him in a league and he's carrying me, but I don't know if this is going to stick around. Anyway, DeLon Wright, everyone was talking about picking up him. He was the kind of must-add player, and I think he'll have better days. I think he's safe if you pick him up. Like you said, Avery Bradley, I have him in both my head-to-head matchups, so I'm going to have to move on from him and find someone else. All right, he can definitely be dropped at this point. Let's go over to the final. Well, not the final game, but the final game. I will be around for 110-105. Heat go into San Antonio and win a surprising upset here. I guess the Heat are trying to make the playoffs. I don't know. I guess, like you said, I think you talked about Dwayne Wade trying to, one last sort of playoff run. Let's start with him. He played 20 minutes off the bench, just 11 points, 2 rebounds on 5 of 13 shooting. Did help his team win, though. The big night came from a few guys. Let's start with Richardson, since gosh, talk about a miss. Adrian, I thought he was a can't-miss player this year in the fantasy. I thought he was going to be fantastic. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Not great. 6 of 16 shooting. Did have the 2 threes, 1 steal, 2 blocks. That's what kind of makes him special. Gets the steals, gets blocks, makes threes. He could score. I thought he was going to average around 20 points this season, and then do assists and rebounds as well. So expected much higher things from him. If he kind of like falls in the draft next year, I think I'll target him. I think he's due for a bounce back. Adebayo, this guy might be drafted next year. He is starting at center, 29 minutes, 6 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. Just took 4 shots, but made 3 of them, had 2 steals. Olynyk, this is the first night we've seen where this is like the bad Kelly in terms of minutes. 19 minutes tonight. He did have 3 personal fouls, so maybe that was the issue. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists a game. Not worth playing him. I held him out. I have him in my games cap, but I have better guys, so I don't need to play him. But I thought he was safe tonight. That did not work out. James Johnson, 27 minutes off the bench, and replaced him most likely for Olynyk's role. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists on 5 of 8 shooting, 3 3-pointers and 2 steals. So that's kind of the line I expect from Olynyk. Dragic, he is starting to ramp up his minutes. 22 off the bench and 22 points to go along with that. 2 steals, 2 assists, 4 3-pointers, and just a single turnover. So a solid night from him. I mean, I think all these guys have probably picked up Whiteside. Oh, I should mention him, 19 minutes off the bench. 12 and 7 with a block, so not bad for the limited role. Waiters, I don't trust, though. He did okay tonight, 18, 5, and 4. 4 3-pointers. I guess you could stream him, and definitely in points league, he's streamable. This is the percentages that scare me. Any thoughts? I'm not really changing anything here on the Heat. I think Wade is the one I would stream of the guys that might be available over Johnson, over Olynyk at this point. Any thoughts on the Heat?
Yeah, I got some thoughts on this team. I talked earlier about the shine and the luster coming off of Donovan Mitchell, and I feel like Josh Richardson falls in that category for me. As you said, Neil, a guy I had high expectations for, started the season hot. Like, I thought he was going to finish as like a borderline second to third round type value player. And man, he has just really fallen off. The shooting has not been good. So, yeah, when you said, I definitely think his draft stock is going to take a hit next year. So, yeah, maybe a good guy to target if his price falls far down. I mean, you could potentially hit it big if he eventually hits his potential for next season. The Bam Adebayo era is upon us, you guys. It looks like he has officially taken the reins from Whiteside. They've kind of handed the front court over to him now. So, man, I'm excited to draft this guy next year. Really curious where he goes. Because, we know this year we didn't really think he was going to be viable. So a guy who probably didn't even get drafted in most leagues. Neil, every game we talk about how safe Kelly Olynyk is. I'm finally getting to that point now where my needle is like starting to get right in that spot where I don't know if he's safe anymore, man. I don't know what's up with the 19 minutes here. I don't think foul. I mean, he did have 3 fouls, so maybe fouls were an issue. Maybe like the flow of the game. Maybe he just wasn't clicking against this team. I don't know. I'm still going to, of course, hang on to him, keep him in my lineup. But if he has a couple more bad games soon, like within the next few ones, I may start to lean towards not feeling like he's safe. Neil, I picked up Goran Dragic. Earlier I talked about that I had to drop Tyler Johnson. I picked up Goran Dragic. He was on the wire in the Hoopball Staff League. So very happy to see him get 22 points, and I needed those 4-3. So I really hope he can keep his foot on the gas for the rest of the week. That's all I got from the Heat. Neil, any closing thoughts before I jump over on the Spurs?
Just really quickly, yeah, the Olynyk, James Johnson came back from injury. He is slowly ramping up his minutes, which is cutting into Olynyk. I thought Olynyk was playing well enough that he would not lose those minutes to Johnson. But tonight it was the case, and maybe that's the trend going forward. Like you said, if Johnson outplays them the next couple games in terms of the coach playing Johnson more, then at that point I think you cut bait with Olynyk. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right, you guys, I'm going to move over to the San Antonio side. I got to start with DeMar DeRozan, 16 points with 15 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, a block, 6 of 12 from the field, 4 of 6 from the line. LaMarcus Aldridge, I wish I was higher on this guy coming into the year. 17 points, 9 rebounds, an assist, a block, 6 of 10 from the field, 5 of 5 from the line. Neil, I thought that Derek White was locked and loaded, and right when I'm ready to just keep this guy locked up in my lineup, here he stumbles out the gate, man. 3 points, 4 assists. He only shot 1 of 8 from the field. So, of course, I'm going to hang on to this guy. Fingers crossed that he can bounce back real soon. Forbes, even though he's starting, his usage is real low, and it has the tendency to put up low-end lines like tonight. Only 8 points, 2 assists. This is why we really can't trust him. The same I'm going to say for Jakob Poeltl. Neil, I get questions on Jakob Poeltl. I can understand why people get excited about him. I got excited about him. We saw him play so well in Toronto. He's moving into the starting lineup. This front court feels like it's his, but yet he's just, he only took 3 shots. He only played 14 minutes. No foul trouble at all. So I can't trust Jakob Poeltl anymore. If I get any more questions from here on out, I'm going to lean towards.
What's up, you guys? I am back for the final 2 games of the evening. Let's get right into it. First game up is the Toronto Raptors and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Raptors getting the victory 123-114. Take a look at the Toronto side first, and man, Pascal Siakam, 33 points, 1 block, 2 steals, 6 assists, 13 boards, 1 3, shot 14 of 21 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line. I mean, what can you say about this guy? If you drafted Pascal Siakam, you got to be jumping for joy. He has just exceeded any expectation I think anybody had. Kawhi Leonard with a nice game, 22 points, 2 steals, 6 assists, 10 rebounds, and 2 threes. He shot 8 of 19 from the field, 4 of 5 from the line. Hope you guys were able to scoop up Fred VanVleet. 23 points for him, 2 steals, 6 assists, 3 threes. He shot 8 of 16 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line. Danny Green, if you rolled with him, he had a good game, 17 points, 2 steals, 6 assists, 5 threes. He shot 6 of 10. The Raptors really playing well. Marc Gasol had 10 points, a block, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. He had 2 threes and shot 4 of 7 from the field. Ibaka moved to the bench. He only had 6 points in 23 minutes. He also had 9 rebounds and 2 blocks. Not too much else to talk about. Jeremy Lin is not happening. Kyle Lowry did not play in this one. So let's jump over to the Thunder side and Russell Westbrook. Let's start with him. 42 points, 6 assists, 11 rebounds. He had 5 threes, shot 16 of 29 from the field, 5 of 8 from the line. Steven Adams with 4 points, 1 steal, 2 assists, 7 rebounds. He was 2 of 7 from the field. Grant had 9 points, 1 block, 2 assists, 14 rebounds. He was 3 of 14 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. Paul George, this feels like a disappointment from him. He's put up some big lines this season. He only shot 6 of 14 for 19 points, 1 steal, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He had 3 threes and was 4 of 7 from the line. Dennis Schroeder off the bench. He had 38 minutes, had 12 points, 1 steal, 4 assists, 7 rebounds for him. Not much else to mention on this team. Those are only the relevant guys. Going to move over to the last game of the evening, the Mavericks and the Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers getting the victory, 126-118. I'm going to take a look at the Dallas side first, and I'm going to start with Luka Doncic, 24 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 3. He shot 8 of 16 from the field, 7 of 7 from the line. Dwight Powell cooled off, only 5 points, a steal, a block, 9 rebounds, 1 3 on 2 of 4 shooting. Brunson with a nice game, man. I was able to scoop this guy up in a bunch of leagues, and it's worked out pretty well. He had 16 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, shot 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line. Tim Hardaway Jr. with 14 points, 3 assists. He had 2 threes, shot 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line. Off the bench, Justin Jackson got some extended run. He played 34 minutes and put up 21 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. Now, he likely got some extended time due to Kleber being gone. I think Kleber is day to day, so I don't think there's really any reason to pick up Jackson. So I think you can pretty much ignore him. That's all I got on the Mavs. Let's jump over to the Blazers, and let's start with Damian Lillard. 33 points, 2 steals, 12 assists, 5 rebounds. Mo Harkless, 10 points is okay, but how about these 2 steals, 2 blocks? He had 2 threes, so nice to see those cash counter stats. 1 assist. He also had 3 rebounds, shot 4 of 6 from the field. Layman had 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 threes on 4 of 10 shooting from the field. Aminu, I know a lot of people streaming Aminu for the playoffs. I believe Neil's one of those people that scooped him up. 6 points, 4 rebounds for him, 1 3 on 2 of 6 shooting. Yusuf Nurkic, 13 points, 1 block, 10 rebounds, 6 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line. Curry had a nice game off the bench, 20 points for him, 2 steals, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. Who else? Cantor doubled off the bench, 14 points, 10 rebounds for him. And that's about it for Portland, and that's about it for Wednesday's games, you guys. Neil and I will be back for Thursday to see what went down for Thursday. All right, you guys, we will talk to you later.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.